The snooker world watches with anticipation as Zhao Xintong, the Chinese prodigy once heralded by Ronnie O'Sullivan as a future legend, prepares for his competitive return. The 27-year-old has served a 20-month suspension for his involvement in snooker's 2023 match-fixing scandal that implicated 10 Chinese players. His comeback could begin as early as April's World Championship qualifiers.
One.
Zhao's fall from grace came at the worst possible moment. In December 2021, he captured the UK Championship title, defeating Luca Brecel 10-5 in the final. This victory propelled him to a career-high world number, 9th ranking in April 2022. 3 months later, he added the German Masters crown to his achievements, whitewashing Yan Bingtao 9-0 in a stunning display of dominance. Ronnie O'Sullivan's admiration for Zhao became evident after that German Masters triumph. O'Sullivan told this to reporters, "The last time I was this excited about a player was when I saw Hendry play when I was only about 9 years old. I remember watching Stephen play in some festival in Hastings and you knew he was special. And for me, Zhao is the only one since that made me think he could be something special."
Ronnie's done a little bit with him. When he's on it, shall we say, he's probably, besides him, the best ball striker I've seen. You know, they're so natural, you know, and...
He's banned right now, unfortunately, but
yeah,
he'll be back.
I think he's back. I think he's got to go to Q School. Is it this year or next year? I think it's this year, isn't it? I'm not sure, but...
O'Sullivan's praise didn't stop there. He added, "He is super good now, but could be an unplayable great if he were to brush up on certain things. And that is up to him. Does he want to be open to that and do the work? Because Zhao can be as good as he wants to be, he has got the game in his hands. As he develops, he will handle the pressure situations even better than now." The match-fixing scandal that derailed Zhao's career involved multiple Chinese players. While Zhao didn't personally fix any matches, he admitted to betting on a game he knew had been manipulated. This distinction proved crucial. While Yan Bingtao received a 7.5-year ban for direct involvement in match-fixing, Zhao's punishment was reduced to 20 months. During his suspension, Zhao maintained his dedication to the sport. "These 2 years have been very long for me. I've practiced every day," he told the BBC in November. "2 years ago, I made a little mistake. Now I've come back. I know how important snooker is to me, and now I just want to come back to the snooker table." Hendry has already identified Zhao as a potential threat in the upcoming World Championship. Speaking on the Snooker Club podcast, the 7-time world champion said, "Apparently he's in the top 5 with the betting for the whole thing. If he gets through, then it'll be really interesting to see how he does." Hendry emphasized the challenge Zhao presents. "There's a whole load you could say that you don't want in the first round of the World Championship. It's different from the late 80s and early 90s where you could forget the first 2 rounds because you'd breeze through it. But there will be 1 or 2 who will be good draws. Everyone else will be tough." The Scottish legend also echoed O'Sullivan's assessment of Zhao's potential. "There are only a handful of players in the game who really stand out when you watch them play and you think they've got that little stardust, that star quality. There's lots of great players who make lots of centuries, but they don't look like that. They don't have that little bit extra. Zhao Xintong, when he plays like that, has got that. He's got the X factor." Zhao's technical abilities have never been in question. His fluid cue action and natural break-building prowess drew comparisons to snooker's all-time greats during his rise. His 2021 UK Championship victory saw him become only the 4th non-British player to win the event after Ding Junhui, Neil Robertson, and Luca Brecel. The Chinese star's suspension period saw significant changes in the snooker landscape. The emergence of players like Luca Brecel as world champion and the continued dominance of O'Sullivan have reshaped the hierarchy Zhao must now re-enter. His ranking has plummeted during his absence, meaning he'll need to qualify for major tournaments through qualifying rounds. Zhao remains confident in his ability to compete at the highest level. He stated, "I knew I would come back, so I need to keep confident in myself. I believe that if I play well, then I can beat anybody." I'm just going to try my best. The World Snooker Tour has implemented stricter anti-corruption measures since the 2023 scandal. All players now undergo enhanced education programs about betting regulations and match-fixing risks. Zhao's return will be closely monitored as both a test case for rehabilitated players and a potential boost to the sport's popularity in China. His comeback coincides with increased interest in Asian snooker. The 2023 to 2024 season has seen Chinese players achieve notable successes, with Zhang Anda winning the international championship and Ding Junhui returning to form. Zhao's presence could further strengthen this momentum. The practical challenges of Zhao's return shouldn't be underestimated. 20 months away from competitive play represents a significant gap in modern snooker. While he's maintained practice routines, match sharpness can only be regained through tournament play. The pressure of his first matches back will be intense, with media scrutiny inevitable. Bookmakers have already installed Zhao among the favorites for the World Championship, reflecting both his past achievements and the respect he commands from peers. This faith stems from his pre-ban performances, where he demonstrated an ability to compete with and defeat the world's best players.
Well, I mean, I wasn't happy when he equaled my 7. I mean,
Right.
you know, people asked me before, and I said, no, I don't want. Of course, I don't want him to equal my record. It was my record. When I was talking to Ronnie on the thing, and I said, surely you must now. It's all about winning 8, right? Because when I won 6 to equal Steve, the next day I said I have to win 7. Ronnie being Ronnie, he deflected it a little bit and didn't want to admit, but I know he does. I know he wants to win 8. And then he will be the GOAT, obviously.
The snooker world faces an unprecedented question as the 2025 World Championship approaches. Will Ronnie O'Sullivan compete? The 7-time world champion hasn't been seen in tournament play since his dramatic exit from January's Championship League, where frustration led him to smash his cue. This incident marked the beginning of an extended absence that has seen him miss every major event since, including the Masters, where he was defending champion. Stephen Hendry, another 7-time Crucible king, remains convinced O'Sullivan will appear. "I've got a sneaky suspicion he is going to play." Hendry said this on the Snooker Club podcast. He went further, suggesting O'Sullivan could achieve the unthinkable. Ronnie just decides he's going to turn up at the Worlds and wins it. It would be an unbelievable story, and he's that good. Hendry's confidence stems from history. In 2013, O'Sullivan took a year-long sabbatical before returning to claim the world title. Hendry recalled their exchange at the time. He messaged me and said, "Do you think I can still come back and do it?" I said, "Of course you can. All you need is a month's solid practice." The Scot believes the same formula could work now, though acknowledges greater challenges. He was a much younger man, and there weren't the players around that are in such form. The current snooker landscape features multiple in-form contenders. Judd Trump has dominated the season, while Kieran Wilson defends his world title. Neil Robertson and John Higgins have rediscovered their best games, and Mark Selby remains a perennial threat. Hendry initially tipped Selby before considering O'Sullivan's potential. There's 6 or 7 easily you could count, and maybe more that are capable of winning it.
Who could stop the Rocket winning the 8th? 2 players that have beaten him this season, both in his half of the draw. Zhang Anda, who lost. Mark Williams beat him in the Tour Championship final, lost. He's got Judd Trump in the semi-final, possibly, if both make it through. Judd hasn't beaten him, I think, since 2020. Ronnie, after his press conference, was very, very sort of confident. He's going to keep playing, see what he can win. So yeah, big message thrown out to the likes of Trump, Mark Allen, Mark Selby, who also lost, by the way, shadow of his former self. Whether that was a veiled message, as with a few of them possible breakaways happening. We'll have to keep our eyes open for that. Listen, the big question, as always, who could stop the Rocket winning the 8th?
Bookmakers share Hendry's cautious optimism. Betfair lists O'Sullivan as 7-1 joint favorite alongside Trump and Wilson. Remarkable odds for a player who hasn't competed in months. The betting reflects both O'Sullivan's unparalleled talent and his proven ability to triumph after breaks. Equipment concerns linger. O'Sullivan destroyed his previous cue during January's meltdown, leaving questions about his current setup. Hendry said, "I don't know what his cue situation is because he smashed his last one." However, he maintained that with proper preparation, the tool matters less than the craftsman. If he had a month behind closed doors, practicing, putting the work in, getting himself sharp, then of course, he can. Parallel to the Crucible speculation, a rule change opens new possibilities for O'Sullivan and his class of 92 peers. From May 2025, professionals over 45 ranked in the top 64 can compete on the World Seniors Tour. This clears the way for O'Sullivan, Mark Williams, and John Higgins, all turning 50 this year, to potentially contest both the World Championship and World Seniors Championship in consecutive weeks at the Crucible.
Ronnie O'Sullivan and Mark Williams are really exceptional, weird people. Which one of the three of the class 92 are going to crack up first? They are so good, and they've been so good for so long that they've given us the opportunity to enjoy which one of them is going to crack up first. The reason why it could be John out of the three of them is that he's the most normal human being. Ronnie O'Sullivan and Mark Williams are really exceptional, weird people. John is less weird and more of a normal competitor style. But the other two are enigmas. You can't understand Ronnie O'Sullivan, you can't understand Mark Williams. How is he still winning?
It's unbelievable.
It's stupid.
Jason Francis, chairman of World Senior Snooker, confirmed, from next season, any pro player over 45 can accept an invitation or enter a qualifier for a TV seniors event. That is provided it is staged on a day of no World Snooker Tour event. He emphasized the opportunity. Seniors now has the chance to use the bigger names to stage more events with more players. That means more prize money and more opportunities for amateur players. Dare to dream. The trio boasts 14 world titles between them and all remain in the world's top 6. Their potential participation could revolutionize senior snooker, currently dominated by Igor Figueiredo and 4-time winner Jimmy White. Dennis Taylor, the 1985 world champion, joined Hendry in backing O'Sullivan's Crucible chances. Taylor told this to Betway, "It would be a hell of a thing to do, but the talent he has, you can't put it past him." He referenced O'Sullivan's 2013 comeback. "He proved it the last time when he came back and won it, so you can't count it out. It's difficult to pick, but if Ronnie plays, I'm still going to have him as favorite." Taylor's comments highlight the central paradox surrounding O'Sullivan. His lack of match practice would cripple most players, but his natural ability transcends conventional preparation. The timeline adds urgency. With O'Sullivan not qualifying for the upcoming Tour Championship, the Crucible represents his next possible appearance. His uninterrupted participation since 1993 makes withdrawal unthinkable for many fans. Hendry's sneaky suspicion suggests the streak will continue, but O'Sullivan's silence keeps everyone guessing. Financial incentives remain substantial. The World Championship winner earns £500,000, while the seniors event offers £15,000 to its champion. For O'Sullivan, however, the motivation has always been about legacy rather than money. An 8th world title would extend his record and further cement his status as snooker's greatest. The Q incident in January revealed O'Sullivan's ongoing frustration with perfectionism. His standards remain astronomically high, and any equipment issues could derail his preparation. Yet Hendry's comments suggest belief in O'Sullivan's ability to overcome this hurdle. Of course, he would be one of the top 2 or 3 favorites to win it. It would be incredible. Opponents face a psychological challenge. Trump, Wilson, and others have built momentum through the season, but O'Sullivan's aura alone changes dynamics. His mere presence at the Crucible would shift betting markets and tournament narratives instantly.
One he's drilled in this evening was exceptional. And there's another one. Oh, and what a shot he played there, by the way. Magnificent. And it was played here.
The snooker world witnessed an unexpected clash between 2 of Scotland's greatest players when 7-time world champion Stephen Hendry publicly criticized John Higgins' playing style during the 2024 Players' Championship in Telford. The tension began when Hendry, serving as an ITV pundit, didn't mince words about Higgins' performance against eventual tournament winner Judd Trump.
Played it beautifully. Deserves to be on a red. It was certainly a nice strike of the pack. Had the disappointment. Well, how do you get that much check side on a ball?
You don't often see that. That is one of the best positional shots you'll ever see, using the jaw. You would never...
Hendry's analysis was blunt. He said, "I never thought I'd say this, but John Higgins is a tough watch at the moment. Whether he is low on confidence, he is not playing well at all. 32 seconds a shot is not good." The snooker legend went further with his critique, comparing Higgins' struggles to Trump's fluid style. It is almost like he is getting in his own way. The difference is when Judd gets in, everything just flows. Every shot with John is a pint of blood. He's putting so much effort into even the easiest shots, and that is a sign to me of someone low on confidence. Higgins, who had reached the semifinals with hard-fought 6-5 victories over Mark Williams and Mark Allen before falling 6-4 to Trump, didn't take the criticism lightly. The four-time world champion fired back in his post-match interview saying, "I've heard people like Hendry now saying that I've got to speed up. He's a cracker, so he is. When you get a little bit older, you are just a little bit cautious. You are trying to work on a couple of things. You are nearly 50 and are still competing with the boys. I bet you wish they were doing the same, but hey-ho." The exchange took a humorous turn when Hendry appeared on the World Snooker Tour's Snooker Club podcast. Host Mark Watson asked, "Hendry, do you now see Kyron Wilson as a potential favorite for the Crucible, despite how difficult it is to win it for the second time after your debut win?" Seizing on Higgins' use of his surname, Hendry said, "You can call me Hendry. That's what Higgins called me in his post-match interview, so you can call me Hendry. He surnamed me." The moment drew laughter from both Hendry and Watson, who responded, "I've been watching you inter-Scottish players with interest, by the way." Hendry later defended his role as a pundit, stating, "If I didn't say what I had seen, then I'd be a pretty boring pundit. If I just complimented the players all the time, then I wouldn't be doing my job properly." He acknowledged Higgins' achievements in the tournament, saying, "John did incredibly well to win his first two matches, both 6-5, coming through two titanic struggles." However, he maintained his stance on Higgins' pace of play, saying, "At his best, John Higgins is a 23 or 24 second a shot player. I just thought, to get back into the Judd match, he needed to try and speed up a bit." This wasn't Hendry's first high-profile criticism of a fellow professional in 2024. Earlier in the year, he had called out Neil Robertson for slow play during the Masters. Robertson, who staged a dramatic 6-5 comeback against Higgins in that event, couldn't resist a dig at Hendry afterward. "Yeah, I don't think Stephen Hendry is going to give me too much stick about that one," he said, prompting laughter from the 2,000-strong crowd at Alexandra Palace. The Australian doubled down after his Players' Championship victory over Mark Selby, adding, "I think Stephen Hendry is quite happy about that as well." Robertson's own relationship with snooker's biggest stage became another talking point after he failed to qualify for the 2024 World Championship. The 2010 world champion has been vocal about his dissatisfaction with Sheffield's Crucible Theatre, where he hasn't progressed beyond the quarterfinals since 2014. In 2022, Robertson argued for moving the tournament. "I think we have to be careful of tradition. There are a lot of sports that have suffered because of that and been too stubborn to move on. The one-table setup is really special, but there's definitely room for improvement in the two-table setup. We have to move with the times. I don't think the championships should continue at the Crucible itself." Professional player Stephen Hallworth believes Robertson's attitude toward the venue has become detrimental. He's let his dislike of the venue impact his performances. It's a hurdle he has to overcome. Robertson found an unlikely ally in Hossein Vafaye, who launched a scathing attack on the Crucible in 2024. He said, "Everything's so bad. If you ask me if I want to come back here, I would tell you no way. Forget the history, you want to go somewhere really nice as a player. You walk around the Crucible and it smells really bad. You go to other countries and everything is shiny. But here, it's completely different. The practice room. Do you see anything special? I feel like I'm practicing in a garage."
Marking resounding beautifully. So back in.
Reds. As he made it, might need a help off the yellow. Yes, he's got it. What a shot.
As you play on here, he's got to go into them.
Former world champion Dennis Taylor has dismissed concerns that Ronnie O'Sullivan and Judd Trump's decisions to relocate to Asia will damage snooker in the UK. O'Sullivan, 49, was granted residency in Hong Kong in January, while Trump regularly splits his time between Hong Kong and Dubai. With two of the sport's biggest stars leaving Britain, some have worried about the potential impact on the game's standing in the UK.
Judd Trump